Alright, so I put a couple of magnets inside a plastic bag and my hand's inside the bag holding it, and I've pushed it around inside the powder, and as you can see there's quite a bit of metallic, and let's see if I can do this without dropping the phone. By just shaking it, a lot of the dust comes off, any of the dust that was caught with it. Now I'm going to do this one-handed. Let's see if I can prop this back. Hang on. So this is the metal that I got out of the powder. There is still a fair bit in there, but I was pulling out tiny amounts at a time and I was just getting over it, so I thought, bugger it, this is the main part of it. So now I'm going to put this in with the other metal and put some more nitric in there. See how that's going. As you can see, put some more nitric in. Bit of a reaction going on there. I'd say I'm going to need a lot more nitric before the day's out. I'll just keep doing it every hour or two when I see the reaction stop. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is try and get rid of most of the ash. I'm going to fill up the water in here, let it settle for just a second or two, hopefully the heavies fall down, and pour it into the catch bucket, and then hopefully anything that does pass through will land in there. And this will probably overflow, but the heavies should fall down. I'll just keep doing that. When I get to the end of this, I'll tip all that back in here and start again, and I'll keep doing it until I'm sure that all the ash is gone. I might put it on jet so it really forces the water into it. I think Cocky wants to say hello to the camera. Hello, Cocky. Oh, he's camera shy. Alright, so what I'll do is just give it a second. And I'll pour it into here. Not all of it, just the top, whatever's floating.
Hey, Cocky.
You want to be a TV star? Show everyone how clever you are. What are you doing, Cookie? What are you doing? What are you doing, Cookie? What are you doing?
Shut up.
So it doesn't matter if this overflows, I'll just pour slowly, and anything heavy should hopefully just sit to the bottom of the bucket. So when I get to the point where it's going to overflow, I'll just go slow. Are you showing off? Hey? You showing off for the camera? So all I want to get rid of is just ash and bits of ceramic. I'll go nice and slow. You see all the black ash floating on top there. If I don't get rid of it now, it'll easily get sucked up through the pump in my gold cube, and I don't know how good it's going to be for the pump going through there. All I want to put through the gold cube is the heavy sediment metals, and see all this light stuff go now. You can see all the light stuff that's coming up the side. And all the heavies down the bottom there. I don't know if you can see all the heavies down there. And while I'm doing this is having a chance to settle. So in a minute I'll just pour some of that water away gently. I should probably put a couple of drops of detergent in there to stop anything from floating, but I'm pretty sure that the heavies will sink. Still a lot of ash coming up. Hello. What are you doing, Cookie? What are you doing? Just under the surface of the water, it's clear for about 5mm, and then I can start seeing all the black sediment, which is all the ash. You can see it all coming out. I'm doing it slowly, so anything heavy should be down the bottom. If you're worried about losing any gold, you could use 3 or 4 catch cans. Go from one to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other, and they'll be guaranteed you're not missing anything. But the experience I've got, I'm pretty sure I'm not missing any. There's just sediment there now, so I'm getting through most of the clay. Well, ash, I mean, not that clay. Most of the water's coming out fairly clear now. I've pretty much got all the ash out of the red bucket. I reckon one more go in the red bucket and I'll have all the ash, or enough of it anyway. And then I'll focus on the small one. Any ash that's remaining in there now is enough. It's okay. If there's any tiny bits in there, that's all right. That's all sediment there. So I don't want to let that go. Just give it a rinse out. Alright, we'll focus on this one now. I don't expect there to be too much in here. Might be a little bit. Most of it's ash, but it's the benefit of using a catch pan just in case you do let some go. I'll give this a bit of a squirt, a bit of a stir up under there. Give it a chance to settle. All I can see in there at the moment is ash. Look, there's grass now. That's clever. mostly ash, but there is some sediment you can see in this corner over here. Even though it's sediment, it's probably all the light stuff, which is probably no good to us, but for what it's worth, I'll keep it. Hello.
Hello, boy.
Hello, boy.
Hello, boy.
Hello, boy. So what I'll do is I'll mix all that sediment back into here, and if it truly is the lights, then I'll hose all this out again, and it should come straight back out again. The fact that it went in the first place must mean it's light, so. Nearly done now. See, it's all the light stuff wanting to come to the surface. I'd rather the gold cube sorted out than to be filtering it out this way. So I'm just trying to get rid of the most of it. If there's any ash in there still, that's alright. I'd rather the gold cube do it. Alright, so I'll leave that in there. So when it's set down. Whatever's in here now, I'll put back. I'll actually put all this stuff in the red bucket into the white one, and I'll just go with that. Okay, so that's all the concentrates, which I'm going to run through the blue gold cube later on today. Leave it there for now. The concentrate's ready to go. Got my pan. I've got a container down there to catch anything that comes out, and I'm going to pan it when we're finished to see if anything comes through, because this gold cube's all new to me. I don't know 100% whether it's going to catch everything or not, and if I see any signs of gold in whatever comes out, then I'll be putting that through the blue bowl and double check, make sure I catch everything. Since the last time I used the gold cube, I have found out how it's supposed to be properly set up. So I have it set up the way that they say, and I still found water pooling on here. So I'm just going to live with that, I guess. That's probably how it's supposed to be, because there's a crack along, not a crack, but there's a gap along the back here where water that's coming out of here also comes out of here. It doesn't seem to overflow, so I'll be happy with that. Obviously the slope here and here and here is more important than a little bit of water bubbling off here if it does. So I'll get the tripod set up and we shall start. Alright, here we go. Let's see what I caught. Now, according to statistics, IC chips yield up to 4 grams per kilo. Up to meaning the key word, it all depends on A, the size of the chips, B, the age of the chips. Some chips are older than others and have more gold, some are bigger than others and have more gold, etc, etc. So I would like to think that I'm going to get 7 kilos times 4, 28 grams, almost an ounce. I don't think that I would get that much, but a lot of my IC chips were old, so there's a very good chance that they have a higher gold content than the newer ones. But then there's also the fact that half of them, as you saw, were steel. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's still in nitric acid outside. Just gonna have to wait until that's finished. I've been gradually adding more and more nitric to it as I go. And just a waiting game for that, see how that goes. I'm keen to see how well this gold cube does, because I don't know if it's even going to work with these. It's probably not even designed for these. Maybe it's only designed for gold flakes. Maybe anything that's in here would be too small. I don't know, that's what I'm going to find out. And I'm pretty sure that the blue bowl would be more suitable, but because it's so small, only run a tiny bit through at once, well, this can take a larger quantity. They run a larger quantity through, so it would be ideal if this works really well. Only time will tell. We'll find out soon enough. There's not a whole lot of concentrate, so I'm going to film this whole thing. If you get bored, just skip forward a little bit. You see what I mean about the water piling up along the back here? So that's alright, I can live with that. It'd be nice if I see a whole pile of gold caught. I don't want to get the hopes up. Not much more to go now. Almost finished. The water to wash this out of the bowl. bucket of rinse out. Okay. Give it a bit of a chance to run through, make sure everything's finished going through. Time to see what we've got. I need the torch to see in here because it's hard to see. I can feel a lot of wire here still, and I thought I got most of it out with the magnet, but there's quite a bit here. So I'm going to run over this now with the magnet while it's here. Much easier, I do believe. And it's all bedded into the mat now. I'll have to hose it out. Alright, I'll pause the camera and I'll go and hose it. Before I go and hose it, I can show you a lot of these pins. I don't know how well you can see on here, but these are all the gold plated pins. A lot of the old pins, the old IC chips I had were gold plated. And that's not even counting what's caught in here. You can see there. I'll try and get close so you can see just how many of them are gold plated. These boards are full of it. So I'll go and hose these off. I'll hose both of these boxes into a tub and put it in my pan, and then I'll show you. Well, I tried to pan out what came out, and most of that is just all steel. I'm a bit disappointed that I couldn't get it all out initially. The main problem is I've only got tiny little magnets, and what I really need to use is a magnet from a microwave, the big round magnets. They would have picked up quite a nice amount at a time. I've got really small magnets out of printers, out of CD drives, and some tiny ones out of laptop hard drives. So they're not really suitable. Still some stuff in the bottom, but I can't even find any small bits of gold because, like I said, most of the legs are all gold plated. As you can see by looking at that, I mean, it shows up as brown, but obviously they're not rusty. So it's not looking good. Only time will tell now. Well, that's what came out of the boxes. So now, either that's all there is, or it's in that tub. So I'll go and pound that tub now. Alright, so I've panned out all the things that got caught in the white tub. It's very small, but I reckon that's gold. There's definitely copper in there as well, and it's mostly what's in the beaker is copper, but looks to me like gold. And yeah, it might not be, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm going to put all of this through my blue bowl. I reckon this is too fine for a gold cube, and I reckon there's lots of it that came out. You can see it all in here. Looks to me like there's a lot of gold in there, and if it's not, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So even worse come to worse, I'd rather just put all of the solids into nitric, because I've already washed out away all the ash. And you know, like I said, statistically I'm supposed to end up with 27 grams. It certainly doesn't look like it based on what's in here and what's in the beaker. I reckon some of this gold is so fine it's even hard to see. So I'm going to run it through the gold cube very, 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 very slow. And even then, I'll probably still put whatever goes through the gold cube into nitric acid and then aqua regia and see what I get of it, because it could be so fine that it goes through anything you do. And I want every bit. I need $500 for my girlfriend needs operation. There's gold down there. So I need to pay for her operation. And I'm trying to save up for oxyacetylene, which is going to cost about $500. So I need all I can get. Alright, so I'll be back. I'll get the blue bowl set up. Okay, so I've got the blue bowl set up. That's just from the last time I used it. Just some stuff that was left in there. But this obviously goes a lot slower. And I've got it set really slow. So anything that goes through there now, barely even worth worrying about. I may slow it down a bit more. We'll see how it goes. It's really hard to tell until you put stuff in there and see how it goes. Let's get an idea. If it needs to slow down a bit more, I'll do some more. I'm going to back it off just a tiny bit. And with the blue bowl, you just got to do it slowly. It'll take quite a while. You can see the light's travelling up now. The reason why I was hoping the gold cube would work is because it's so much faster. But obviously the gold cube is meant to be little flakes of gold, not minute specks of gold. So this might even take a day or two at this rate. I'll just pop in every now and then and show you what's going on, but this is pretty much going to be it for the next probably day, I suppose. I'm just going to do it real slow and capture all the copper and all the gold, hopefully any silver, but the gold's the most important part. Well, it's pretty much come to a stop. There's just some extra fine little pieces that are going through. I'm going to turn it up just a touch. I want a little bit more speed than that. See how that goes. Start seeing things moving now. I think that's going to be a good speed there. Now we'll see how that goes. Might be a little too fast, but for now, I'll leave it at that. Well, I've had it going for about 3 hours now. It's running quite a bit of stuff through it. You can see the movement. Some parts are just a little bit too heavy to get over the top. They drop down, then they go up, and they drop down. You can see on the outside here, the stuff's moving. As it all creeps closer to the corner, to the cone in the middle. See, it's all come away from the edge of the bowl. And it creeps its way into the middle. Slow and easy is the way. If I speed it up, I'm only going to lose gold, so I just run it nice and slow. You can see there's plenty of it moving. Can't see any gold yet. Maybe when it thins out a bit, it gets rid of most of that other stuff. We'll start seeing some gold. Well, I've decided to abort the blue bowl because now that I blended the material, which I don't normally do, everything is so fine, even the gold passes through. I either have it on so low that nothing goes out, or just a minute adjustment and everything goes through. I can't seem to find the right balance. And even if I did manage to keep the gold, things like the lighter silver and copper would go through. And I want to treat the whole lot, so I'm just going to empty this water out and replace it with rainwater, and then I'm going to put nitric in there and treat that whole amount. Even with the beaker down here that's got the coarser wire stuff in it from yesterday, you can see all the copper on the wire. All that brown, I would say, is copper, and there'll be gold in there as well. So I'm going to treat all of this in this separate box. I'm going to put rainwater in here with nitric. I'm going to put rainwater in there with nitric. And I've got the large bucket outside with the heavy metals that I pulled out of the blender. That's already soaking in nitric. And I'll just process them in their own batches until the metal's all dissolved. And then I can amalgamate it into one pile and do aqua regia that way. So yeah, the gold cubes are bust, the blue bowls are bust. Purely, it's just better to blend them and treat them as they are, I think. So I'll let you know when I've done that. Alright, this is the beaker that used to have all the pins in it that got caught in my gold cube. As you can see, most of those have been eaten. All that small, fine residue would be what was caught up in it, because I just grabbed clumps of it and threw it in a beaker. So that's probably all the small stuff, which was the same as what's in here. I'm filtering this now. Once it's all filtered and clean, I'll rinse it all out and get it all clean. What's in there plus what gets caught in the funnel will go into aqua regia. Because there hopefully shouldn't be any more steel in there or copper or anything. I've been adding nitric acid till there was no more reaction, so that should be ready to go. This stuff here is what the fine stuff that we ran through the gold cube and blue bowl. That's also I've been adding nitric acid till there's no reaction. So once I'm finished filtering that, I will also filter that, and then that can go through aqua regia. And then out the back I've still got the other bucket which had the real big steel parts, the steel ICs and all the rest of it. That's going to take a little bit longer to consume. So what I'm going to do, I've never processed this much in one hit before, and I can imagine if I was to, you saw how much solids was in there. If I was to try and put all that in aqua regia in one hit, probably have trouble for acid getting to all of it. So I'm thinking about doing it in smaller lots. There are still the occasional bubble popping there. They're very mild reactions, so this will probably take a day or so. So I might do quantities about this size at a time. Put aqua regia in here when there's no more reaction and I'm sure that all the gold's dissolved. Filter out this residue. I'll use the same aqua regia to process some more, and then when the reaction stops I'll just keep adding nitric acid till there's no more reactions, and I'll just keep adding fine stuff until there's none left to do. So just right now, just wait for this to filter. It slowed right down because when I poured the last bit in there, some of that small stuff went in, so that would block up the filter. Once that's done and this is rinsed out, we'll do the aqua regia.